Urgent news. Morgan Rogers has just dropped a bombshell about his transfer future. Meanwhile, Arsenal have reportedly confirmed they could sign Dusan Vlahovic without a transfer fee. What is going on? And David Ornstein reveals that Andrea Berta has already decided Gabriel Jesus' future. If you want all the details on these huge transfer stories as we prepare for life as champions, subscribe right now, turn on notifications, and without further delay, let's get into today's top Arsenal news. Let's jump straight into the first story because Morgan Rogers has singled out Arsenal as the benchmark that convinced him he could compete at the very highest level. And this is exactly the kind of mentality Arteta needs. With a potential move to the Emirates this summer gathering momentum, the timing of his comments will certainly interest Gunners' supporters. Speaking to The Athletic, Rogers reflected on the point his career truly clicked into gear, calling Arsenal some of the best players in the world. Probably the Arsenal game at the start of last season was the big one for me, Rogers said. I was playing against some of the best players in the world and Arsenal were competing for the title. They were players I watched on television when I was in the Championship or in League One. Being able to match them toe-to-toe physically with and without the ball, I just got that feeling. Yeah, I can do this. Arsenal won that match 2-0, but Rogers was excellent on the day, causing them all sorts of problems with his direct and powerful drives through midfield. That tells you everything about his quality. He elaborated on just how significant that game was for him. I had been at Villa for 6 months, and I did okay when I first came into the team, but you need that one moment, that one feeling on the pitch of when you know you can compete at that level. The step up is actually a big jump and it can take a while, but that was the game where I felt like I deserved to be here. According to TalkSport, Mikel Arteta is personally leading Arsenal's pursuit of Rogers, and it's easy to see why. The 23-year-old is considered by those close to Unai Emery to be Villa's best player. Capable of operating centrally or wide, he would provide Arteta with tactical flexibility in attack similar to how Eze has done this season. Rogers himself has spoken about his desire to be expressive and take risks. I don't play football to be boring. To be safe, I have qualities to unlock defences, to score goals and to create goals. That's my task. That's exactly the kind of player Arteta needs to take this Arsenal attack to the next level. Villa value Rogers at around £80 million, but Chelsea and Manchester United are also monitoring. Now let's talk about Dusan Vlahovic because Arsenal are reportedly ready to sign the Juventus striker on a free transfer this summer. And this could be one of the fiercest transfer battles of the summer. For now, Arsenal's full focus is on winning the Champions League in Budapest on Saturday, but work will start immediately on strengthening the squad for next season. Off the pitch, work will be starting on how Arsenal strengthen so they can make further progress next term, retaining the Premier League title as well as advancing in the Champions League. Mikel Arteta has seen what can happen after viewing Liverpool's defence of their title this season, as they finished 25 points adrift. He knows he cannot rest on his laurels, and business must be done. According to Soccer Hooligan, Vlahovic could become one of the main centerpieces of the summer transfer market with his Juventus contract due to expire on June 30th. The £400,000 a week Serbia international looks set to leave Serie A giants Juventus. 10 top European clubs are already considering bringing the 26-year-old in this summer, including 4 Premier League clubs. One of those is Arsenal, with a deal said to be extremely attractive to the newly crowned Premier League champions. He is of strong interest to the Gunners and high on their shortlist, even though some have doubts about how he would fit into Arteta's tactical system. The other English clubs keen on the Serbian centre-forward are Manchester United, Newcastle United and Chelsea. A free transfer for a player of Vlahovic's quality would be absolutely sensational business for Arsenal. That's the kind of deal that could transform your summer window. Now let's talk about Gabriel Jesus because David Ornstein has revealed Andrea Berta has decided he definitely won't do one thing with the Brazilian striker. Gabriel Jesus' future at Arsenal has been up in the air for quite some time. If the Brazil international had not suffered his ACL injury early last year, he probably would have been sold in the summer of 2025. This time, Jesus will almost definitely be sold, and there's a fair bit of interest in him ahead of the upcoming window. Arsenal are ready to let him go, but only on their terms. Arsenal signed Gabriel Jesus for £45 million in the summer of 2022. The Brazilian had an immediate impact and was one of the best players in the Premier League in his first few months. Jesus, along with Alexander Zinchenko, transformed the club into title contenders, and he deserves massive praise for Arsenal finally becoming champions. In July, it's the right time for both parties to part ways. David Ornstein has revealed on The Athletic that Arsenal are demanding up to £20 million to sell him. Several clubs have already inquired about signing the striker, who will enter the final year of his contract in July. What's very interesting, though, is that despite his contract situation, Ornstein has revealed that Arsenal and Berta will absolutely not consider selling him for a cheap fee. That's a big change from how Arsenal have handled similar situations in the past. This shows Andrea Berta operating at a completely different level compared to Edu's tenure. He's not giving away valuable assets for nothing anymore. Now let's talk about Victor Gyökeres, because Michael Owen believes Arsenal are actually unhappy with the striker and could sign someone else this summer. Arsenal are Premier League champions and nobody can say they don't deserve it. Mikel Arteta's side have been the best team in England this season, and almost every player has played some part in that success. However, Michael Owen believes Arsenal are still not entirely convinced by one of their biggest attacking players, Victor Gyökeres. Gyökeres arrived at Arsenal with huge expectations after his incredible goal-scoring record at Sporting CP. He was signed to give Arteta something the Gunners had been missing for years, a proper focal point up front. In many ways, he has done exactly that. Gyökeres has scored important goals, bullied centre-backs, and helped create space for Saka, Ez, and Martinelli. However, because he has not scored at the same rate as Erling Haaland, there's been debate about whether Arsenal need even more up front. Owen clearly thinks the Gunners are not completely satisfied with what they have there. Speaking about Arsenal's next step, he said, "They've won it playing like this at the moment. That's not to say they're going to be like this forever. Arsenal would love to find another centre-forward. They're not happy with Gyökeres, really." Owen continued, "If someone becomes available, that's top. If a Thierry Henry becomes available again, they'd move heaven and earth to get somebody like that in." It feels harsh to suggest Arsenal are unhappy with Gyökeres after 21 goals in his debut campaign, but if an elite forward like Julian Alvarez becomes available, Arsenal should absolutely do everything possible to sign him. Alright Gooners, that's all the massive news about our summer transfer plans. Now I want to hear from you. Should Arsenal sign Rodgers for 80 million? Should we go for Vlahovic on a free transfer? Is 20 million the right price for Jesus? And do you think we need to upgrade on Gyökeres? Drop all your thoughts in the comments right now. I read every single comment, and your debates are always incredible. Let's get a proper discussion going about our summer strategy. And if you enjoyed this breakdown and want every Arsenal update throughout the transfer window, you absolutely need to hit that subscribe button immediately. Smash it right now and turn on notifications. We're Premier League champions building for more success. Until next time, Gooners, trust the process and come on you Gunners.